As the third industrial revolution ebbs into the fourth, present-day economic uncertainties have become a tumultuous storm, threatening to drown whoever cannot adapt. You have to navigate through uncertain financial markets, inflation rates, and overall economic conditions. To effectively manage and stay ahead in your personal finance in these times, a firm grip on winning strategies needs to be adopted. Today, we're going in depth on a subject that impacts everyone: economic fluctuations and personal finance. We'll examine the factors that influence our financial environment, analyze case studies, and provide techniques that will enable you to take charge of your financial future. The catch is that watching this video all the way through is the first step toward achieving financial security. Your financial situation may alter as a result of this choice. So fasten your seatbelts, because it's time to arm yourself with the information and techniques you need to weather economic storms and sail boldly toward your financial goals. Let's get going. What are economic fluctuations? First, let us discuss economic fluctuations, why they are noteworthy, and how these changes affect your finances. Economic fluctuations, called business cycles, are periods of economic boom and recession. These cycles affect your job stability, income, and general financial well-being in actual ways. They are not just theoretical ideas. Did you know that the economy continuously alternates between expansionary and deflationary phases? Economic shifts have always existed in human society. The Panic of 1819 in the United States is one of the earliest recorded economic downturns. A speculative bubble burst resulted in numerous bank failures and a severe recession. A severe economic crisis that affected the entire world, the Great Depression, affected millions of individuals. The Great Recession lasted from 1929 to 1939 and is one of the most well-known examples. GDP decreased by 25%. Unemployment increased to 25%, and inflation reached negative levels during the crisis. During the Great Recession of 2008, millions of jobs were lost due to the collapse of the housing market and the stock market. Numerous causes, including excessive risk-taking by banks and investors, contributed to the financial catastrophe. That year's Great Recession led to a global financial crisis. It acts as a sobering reminder of the effects of economic swings in the real world. The worldwide GDP growth rate fell to minus 0.1% during the Great Recession. Simultaneously, the unemployment rate in the United States rose to 10%. What are the main warning signals of an economic slump? The gross domestic product (GDP) is one crucial indicator. It is a measure of a nation's whole economic output. The economy is expanding when the GDP increases. The economy is said to decline when GDP declines. A declining GDP for 2 consecutive quarters indicates a recession. Another important metric is the unemployment rate. Recessions frequently come with high unemployment rates because firms must reduce expenses and lay off employees to stay afloat. Financial hardship for individuals and families may result, and economic progress may be slowed. Several variables impact economic fluctuations, including consumer spending, company investment, and governmental regulations. Less consumer spending means less revenue for firms, which can result in job losses and a decline in economic activity. Interest rate changes are one example of a government policy that can heat up or cool down the economy. Economic fluctuations are a regular component of the economic cycle, despite the uncertainty they cause. By making wise financial decisions, you can survive and prosper in this constantly shifting economic environment by being aware of their patterns and effects. Riding the economic peaks and valleys. Economic fluctuations are a natural aspect of the financial environment. Understanding how to adjust to economic fluctuations can make all the difference in your ability to succeed financially. Some industries thrive during times of economic expansion. The COVID-19 epidemic, for instance, led to extraordinary growth for IT behemoths like Amazon and Apple. This occurrence proves that economic peaks can bring about unique chances. Have you thought about how your industry might perform at financial heights? Protecting your job and financial stability during the inescapable economic downturns is critical. The United States unemployment rate reached 10% during the 2008 crisis, impacting millions. The US recession of 2008 resulted in the loss of almost 8 million jobs. However, individuals who had broadened their skill sets or worked in recession-proof fields like healthcare or education could better withstand the storm. People are frequently caught off guard by economic downturns. An emergency fund can be a lifeline in these situations. Surprisingly, a survey revealed that almost 40% of Americans would have to borrow or sell assets to pay for a $400 emergency need. Could you immediately cover a $400 unforeseen expense? Setting up an emergency fund is vital, as it may bring stability and peace of mind. You can survive and thrive during economic downturns by broadening your talents, protecting your employment, and putting aside money for unforeseen expenses. The inspiring tales of people who have triumphed over economic hardships are a constant reminder that with the appropriate tactics and outlook, you can weather the storm of economic ups and downs with assurance and fortitude. To stay updated on more exciting content like this, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Don't ignore the resources and advice that can assist you in achieving your financial objectives. Right here is where your path to financial achievement begins. Developing resilience in a changing landscape. It is insufficient to merely endure the storm. You must come out stronger than before. Those who have emergency funds are much better prepared to deal with unforeseen circumstances. Studies reveal that those with an emergency fund are 2.4 times less likely to face significant financial difficulties in times of need. Now think about this. 69% of Americans, according to a survey, have less than $1,000 in savings. Therefore, they are particularly vulnerable to financial shocks. This concerning statistic emphasizes the critical requirement for fostering financial resilience. Individuals and families encountered unheard of economic difficulties during the 1930s Great Depression. But at the time, the idea of being frugal and resourceful started to take hold. People discovered how to conserve, repurpose, and adjust to a shifting financial environment. These highlight the continuing significance of having a solid financial plan if unanticipated situations arise. How can you develop financial resilience? To begin with, establish an emergency fund, ideally with 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This cushion might act as a safety net in case of a job loss or unforeseen expenses. When the economy is struggling, high interest debt can be fatal. Reduce your debt strategically to increase your financial flexibility. You should also create a thorough budget to track your earnings and outgoing costs. By doing this, you'll be able to manage your expenditures and make sure you're setting money aside for future requirements. Don't forget to examine your insurance policies, including your health, life, and disability coverage. In times of disaster, having the appropriate coverage can shield you and your loved ones. Stay up to date on financial and economic trends. You will be better able to make decisions if you know the larger economic environment. Finally, be ready to modify your financial strategy when conditions change. To be resilient in a constantly shifting economic climate, flexibility is essential. Planning your road to financial freedom. The incredible phenomenon of compound interest is one of the most effective instruments at your disposal for accumulating money over time. Albert Einstein originally described compounding as the 8th wonder of the world. The basic idea is that money has more time to develop the earlier you start investing and saving. Consider this astounding fact. In the S&P 500 index, 1,000 invested in 1980 would have increased to approximately $21,000 by 2020. This is a perfect example of how lucrative long-term investing can be. Setting specific attainable goals is the first step in financial planning. They ought to be SMART. Objectives: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You can divide your financial path into reachable milestones by doing this. A Dominican University of California study found that those who write down their goals have a 42% higher chance of succeeding in them. You may or may not have heard of a man called Warren Buffett. If you have, you already know why he is a great example. If you haven't, you might be wondering who this man is. Warren Buffett began investing as a young adult and used disciplined investing to rise to one of the world's wealthiest people. The 93-year-old has a net worth of over $122 billion. Thanks to his investment strategies, the American businessman is often called the Oracle of Omaha. Making a financial strategy is similar to drawing a roadmap to your objectives. Budgeting, saving, investing, and routinely tracking your progress are all part of it. According to a survey by Vanguard, investors who engage with a financial advisor and have a thorough financial plan are more likely to accomplish their retirement goals. Put everything you've learned into practice as the next step to protect your financial future. Click the like button now to show your support and tell your loved ones about this video so they can also gain from it.